Hi, Adobe Creative Educators. Welcome back to the Adobe Creative Educators Show. We are all here back from our incredible summit that was last week. So thank you so much for all of your energy. And if you haven't caught up on the summit, you can still access it this week. So we'll go ahead and post the link in there to make sure that you can still check out the recordings for all of the summit. But we're back here with our regular programming, our weekly Adobe Creative Educator Show every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. And today we have very special guests that will be introducing themselves in a moment with a special AppSmashing, Wakelet, and Adobe Spark. But I'm also joined by my incredible co-host, Tanya Abrith.
Well, hello, Clara. Wow, last week was crazy.
Crazy.
I still can't believe that was like such a whirlwind and so incredible. And what an amazing community we have, right? Like the social media buzz around Adobe EDU Creative was electrifying, and I'm still going through tweets and so amazed by people's takeaways. So if you were watching last week, please make sure to continue the conversation on Adobe EDU Creative, using hashtag Adobe EDU Creative. We are so excited to see your learning from last week. So we're still going in and checking it out. So if you are still watching, definitely share.
Absolutely. And I just posted the link below there so you can catch the recordings, all of the great content from last week. So make sure to do it before August 7th. And after that point, we're going to be taking all those recordings off and putting them onto the Adobe for Education YouTube channel. So again, you can check out the link below to get access to our keynotes, our breakout sessions, all the great content that we did in partnership with HyperDocs. But for today's session, we have some incredible guests joining us. Tanya, if you want to bring them on. The one and only eTwinz, Mario and Alberto. How are you guys doing?
Hi, everyone. How are you doing?
First of all, I love your shirts. Hold on, let's have a look. So they have
the Spark and Wakelet.
I love it. This is so fantastic. And you have the Adobe red background. This is perfect. You guys are totally set up for being on our live
We call it shirt smashing.
Yes. Hashtag shirt smashing.
I think this is a new hashtag. I need to bring this up. We're going to bring this up.
That is so fantastic. Okay, so tell us a little bit about you. Tell us your story. Who are you? What do you do? I'm sure people who don't know you are dying to know a little bit more about you. Shirt smashing.
So I love the hashtag. It's awesome. Please, everyone, go to Twitter, Instagram, and please tweet out the hashtag shirt smashing. We need to make it trending topic in Twitter. Shirt smashing. So who are we? We are identical twins, as you can see. We are originally from Spain. Actually, we are right now in Spain visiting family and friends. But we moved to Utah, USA, 7 years ago to teach. To do what we love the most, and is teach. And I teach 6th grade. I teach 5th grade. So my former students go to Mario. So we love that. We love that part of our job. And we also do a lot of speaking, consulting, and more things that keep us really busy.
We could see that. I see you everywhere on social media. It's awesome.
Yeah, everywhere. And on Twitter, eTwinz, love all the content that you're putting out and all the different tech tools that you're using, including Adobe Spark. So I know you've been using Adobe Spark a lot with your students. Would love to know how you've been using it and how has that transformed some of the visual storytelling that your students embark on?
So I think it's Adobe Spark, the first thing that we love about it is how simple it is. It's great, but at the same time, it is very simple. So you can create great content, you can create great things, using as a kind of simple tool that is easy to learn for our students. And that is amazing because we don't need to spend hours training our students to know how to use Spark, they just go there, explore a little bit, and they know how to create this amazing content. So I think that's one of our favorite parts. Very user friendly, and students as young as like first, second graders can use it, fifth and sixth graders can use it, but also has like really also more complex stuff that people in junior high and high school can use to make like more complex designs. And we use it for pretty much everything, right? For a lot of things. Sometimes students have a hard time trying to put their ideas into words, right? Or into pictures. So Adobe Spark is the perfect tool to kind of like put those ideas out and share what they are thinking, or to create that engaging content that we can share with the rest of the class. We love individualizing, right? Individualize the learning of our students, so we like to give them options, like maybe, for example, right, if we are talking about ancient Rome, for example, that we're going to talk about that later, okay, you have the option of writing about it, you have the option of, I don't know, making a presentation about it, or a video, or a picture, so that piece, that Spark has, that gives our students different options for them to decide what they want to do and express themselves. That is amazing, because they are just very motivated. They are super excited because they are actually deciding what they want to do. Create a story or make a picture. Like whatever they want, and that is amazing. And it gives them a voice, which is very important. That everyone has the opportunity to have a voice in our class. Everyone is making a designs, expressing themselves by doing a video or by designing a picture. And so it is amazing for the teachers as well, because if you have time in class, they make presentations and they present that to the class, right? But if you don't have time, they just, for example, can make a video or make a picture, and then you, on your own time, you correct that, so you have those two options. That is great for teachers as well.
I love that. So they're publishing their work. They feel like they feel so powerful. They have a voice. They're able to see each other's work. It's wonderful. And I know that you're also shirt smashing today using Wakelet with your students. Well, I guess for those who are watching, what is Wakelet, and how are you using that with your students?
So Wakelet is like a curation tool app. You can get all of the content that you want, like PDF or websites or pictures or video, and then you create a collection, and you can include all of those resources inside of a collection. So let's say, for example, that we are learning about, I'm gonna give the same example. Let me guess, ancient Rome. And then, so you as a teacher can get all of the content you want to teach in that collection and share it with your students. Because, for example, we teach in Spanish, so we normally want to give those resources to our students because we don't want them to use, for example, words that they don't know, or get materials that they are too high for them because they don't know that much Spanish. So we curate them in collections, and then we share that with our students, and then they can go through it and read it or watch a video or something like that. It can be used by the teacher, like Mario was explaining, and also can be used by the student. For example, let's say we are doing an activity that requires them to do some research, and they need a place to put all the content they find online. So a Wakelet collection is perfect for that. You are doing a group project, so each of the members of the group can add to that collection. Or we're doing an activity and we need a hub to turn in those activities. They can always insert the link of the Adobe Spark video, if we're talking about that, and to that Wakelet collection to have a place for them to have all of their videos. For a student portfolio, they can include everything they do in that collection. Or as Alberto said, as a research, because a lot of students just present to you the final product. Okay, but how do you get here? Yeah, right? How do you get here? What are your steps to create this? So if they include everything, websites, or even if they have taken notes during a meeting and stuff like that, they include it inside of the collection, and then you have everything you need to be able to correct to grade that product.
It's nice because you can really see their growth over time if you get them in the habit of like taking screenshots or adding their research. I think that's so wonderful and so easy, right? Just adding links, adding pictures all in one space. I love that.
Yeah. And speaking of that and documenting that student progress, I know that there's a lot of educators like yourselves that are using app smashing. So first off, what does app smashing mean? And second, how can Adobe Spark and Wakelet be used in the concept of app smashing?
So AppSmashing pretty much is taking 2-3 apps, putting them together, and what you do by doing that is empower those apps. For example, we are using Wakelet and Adobe Spark. Adobe Spark by itself is wonderful. It's an awesome app. We have talked about that. You can do many things with it. If we take a look at Wakelet, it's the same, like an awesome app to create content, to create those collections. But what about we put them together? What we do, we empower those apps by combining them, and we are getting an awesome outcome. We are getting like different possibilities that we didn't have before when we were using those apps by themselves.
Yeah, and it's not only 2 apps. You can use 3 or 4 apps. But what it is very important, and we always talk about this when we are kind of like speaking or doing something, is like as a teacher, just try to not app smash just because it is cool, because you went to a training and you heard that Wakelet and Spark are great together. We know that, but try to find the needs of your students and your characteristics as a teacher and decide what is best. Together they work perfectly, but maybe for you, for whatever reason, it only works Adobe Spark by itself, So just not do it because we are telling you to do it. Just like take a look at how you teach, how your students are, and combining all of that, just decide what is the best option. We like to say this, because like we've seen some teachers that go back to their class and they are like, okay, I'm gonna use these 4 apps together because I went to this training
and I need to find a way to do it. I need to find a way to do it. Like, no, it's the opposite, right? Like you have those apps there that helps your pedagogy, helps your teaching, right?
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. And it's funny because before we went live, I was just talking about Gregkulawick. So Greg, if you're watching, Greg is actually the I guess the person who coined the term app smashing. And it's really exciting because he actually just took a job to go back and be the director of educational technology at a district in Massachusetts. So we were just kind of chatting about the idea of app smashing and how it's evolved over time, because that was 2012 that he coined that term. So it's almost 10 years that we've been talking about app smashing. But I agree. I think that really understanding why you are using these apps, like the creative problem solving of I can't do this with just one, so I'm going to find other tools. And for students, it's really powerful because when they understand what different tools do and they understand what they can do and what their limitations are, they know, okay, well, I can't curate all of my collections, and all of my research and all of my photos and all of my videos in just Spark. But if I use Wakelet, I can do that, and I can pull all of my work together, and it'll be a lot more seamless. I think that's really powerful. So it's that digital fluency that kids are developing that I think is so powerful. And I think as adults, we're still developing our forget literacy. We know that the tools are there, but when we can use them together in a more cohesive way and become more fluent with the different tools that we use, I think that's really powerful. So I love that you said, don't just use it for the sake of using it. Let's thoughtfully put together tools that make sense, because in our classroom, it's going to help our students learn better. So I love that. Okay, I think it's a really good time to transition into the create part of the live stream today. So as you know, we go through the define, create, and reflect process every single week. It's the creative process that we use for thinking about everything we do when we think about teaching and learning in our Adobe Creative Educator program. So let's share your screen, and I'd love to see what you guys have to share with us.
So we have here 5 Wakelet collections. One, like each of those collections is a different activity that you can do in your class. And in those collections, you can find Adobe Spark videos or Adobe Spark creations in general. So we're going to start with the first one, My Happy Bucket, which is one of our very, very favorites because we add that piece of social and emotional learning that we love so much. So Mario, what's the happy bucket that we have here?
So I think like a lot of people have used this before, have done this before, but in a different way. Like a happy bucket is a Wakelet connection full of Adobe Spark pictures, images, or even videos of happy moments that that you have lived in the past. For example, let's say that today I went out to recess, let's think that we are students, and then and my friend did something great for me, helped me with something, and that made me so happy. So what are we asking the students to do? We are asking that student to go back to his classroom and then just jump into Adobe Spark, create a little picture, and put that picture in the Wakelet collection. It is the same that if we have a jar, full of notes. It's the same idea. So when that student has a bad day or it is in a bad mood, we ask that student to step out of the class and then just open his or her Wakelet collection full of great moments and just read through them or go through them.
It's really important because now more than ever before, sometimes we forget all the good things that happens to us every day. And we are just focused on those bad things. And because I think that's how people are, right? It's how I am, it's how you are, how pretty much everyone is. We always focus on those bad moments or bad comments. For example, you do a presentation that it is great, you get 99 good comments and you get one bad comment, and you are going to think just about that bad comment when you have 99 good reviews, right? So this happens to us every day and also happens to our students. We cannot focus on those bad moments. That's why we have here the happy bucket to remind us that good moments also happens to us every day.
And you are doing it, the students are doing it in a creative way, because as you can see in this collection, it is full of pictures, but they are completely different from each other. So they can decide, what background they are going to use, what kind of font, different stuff, they just create that. So it is a great way to spark their creativity as well.
I love this. I think this is such a great idea. And I love your comment about you focus on the one bad comment that you get because it's so true. As well, right? You can have the best, 100 great, and then you'll get one and you'll be and then I'll call Clara and I'll perseverate about it for the whole rest of the day. It's
right?
One person didn't like it. But you're right, that happens with kids too, and we have to. How do you combat that? This is so creative. I love this idea.
That happens to us a lot. That's happened. One person out of 100, we suck. It's
we
are so bad. We are so bad.
I know we're pleasers. We want people to like the work we do. We work hard, but it's a good place of growth to learn from the things that we can improve for sure. I love that. And so what's this? I like this. The
missing crown. So this is a Wakelet collection. It is full of can you scroll down, Mario, a little bit? It is full of different something happened, right? The royal family in Spain is missing one of the most rare and expensive crowns in the world. So pretty much this is an activity that you can do with your students where every Wakelet collection, every new Wakelet collection is a different
mystery or crime or something like that.
Or crime or a different case. So what they need to do, each member of the group need to do 2 clues that will help the detectives to solve the case. So pretty much, let's say we have 5 or 6 groups in our class. Each of the groups design one of these Wakelet collection full of clues made in Adobe Spark. When all those groups have done the work and are ready to share their collection, then they send this collection to a different group. So that group that get this new collection, what they need to do is they need to solve the case. So this is a great way to kind of like engage them and have them creating stuff, have them like using Adobe Spark to create those clues and solve, think critically, think creative, right?
And like mind breaks, you know, like we love to do this. For example, if we see our students that they are very tired, you know, or they need to do something different, we always come back to these collections, and then we have each group, you know, trying to solve the mystery, solve the case that another group had created before, you know. So those like mental breaks are also great, you know, very, very needed for our students. And this is such a cool activity that they love it, and it's just, we've enjoyed so much last year doing this activity.
Also, you can tie this to your content. Let's say you are doing science or you are doing language arts, so you can tie these different clues, these different like cases, mysteries to the content you are teaching. It's like a breakout room, but like in a Wakelet collection using Adobe Spark pictures.
This is so
love it.
much
This
fun.
is so cool. I want to do this. Like we should do this for our ACE community, like, and have different clues about different Adobe tools along the way. I love it.
You could do
love
it.
this. But your kids must have so much fun in your class. This is such a blast.
Yeah,
Like,
they kind of
that's-
like it.
That
I
is
think.
kind of the rule number one, because when we were growing up, we were kind of little troublemakers, you know. So we were like,
you could never tell, I'm sure.
so rule number one right now for us is like, you know, like as a kid, as a student, sorry, I would want to be in my class right now, you know. So like try to make it as fun as possible.
And kind of like making fun engagement, you know, like students need to want to be there. I think we truly think that the students are excited and they want to be there. They wake up every morning wanting to go to school. Everything is easier. Everything
Plus,
is easier for us.
we have
for them.
even more fun than they do. You know,
Yeah,
we
we
love
do.
this stuff.
I've got a twin sister that's identical, that's passionate about education. Two heads are definitely better than one.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what goes on creatively in your brains, and you guys are reflecting and thinking about it and then talking about your students. Oh my God, lucky kids you have in your classes.
Thank you. Yeah, we talk a lot about education, and it's good because, you know, two brains are, well, 1.5 because Albert knows.
I'm not picking this fight. I need to pick my fights, and this is not one of them.
I'm gonna cry. Oh my God, I love you guys. Okay, let's go on.
Like,
The third activity.
Third activity.
The witch and the castle. Okay. Use your brain, Mario. Go ahead.
So this is kind of like a story that our students can create. So you can see the videos, and it's pretty much they create a Wakelet collection about a story. In this case, is the witch and the castle. Very, very simple. So they need to, for example, student number 1 creates the first part of the story. Student number 2 creates the second part of the story, you know. So like by collaborating among them, among the members of the group, they end up having a whole story, you know, like about a witch and a castle. But you can tie this with your curriculum as well, because you can have your students creating a story about a space if you are teaching about the planets, about whatever. So they need to collaborate between them, among them, to be able to create this story, you know, that can be a short story or a long story or something related to what you are studying. Just you have different options.
So pretty much, if you put together all of those videos, the final result is a full story about a witch and a castle. So what we are doing here is like we are asking our students to be creative. We are asking our students to use those skills that's really important. We are asking them to think about what's coming in the story, what's before my part, what's after my part. They need to work together and come up with this story.
And we could have done it in a different way. We could have asked our students to do it individually, but we didn't want that because we want our students to just talk with the other person, like reach an agreement about how they need to do it or about how the story is going to be. If you work by yourself, it is going to be so easy. You write a story or you create a story, and that is pretty much it. But when you need to talk with another person and you need to come to an agreement, because maybe you don't like something that the other person has in mind, but the other person doesn't like your idea either. You need to work around those problems and just come up with a story.
We truly believe in the power of collaboration and all the skills that you develop when you work with people. And it's not just those skills, it's about social and emotional learning skills, social awareness. You develop that empathy working with people, trying to understand their point of view, trying to understand why they do things in that way, why they think in that way. So every opportunity that we have to work in collaboration, we do it in our classes.
So in this activity, we are working on like collaboration, communication, storytelling, language arts, science in a very creative way, because they are just building that story, writing that story together. So if we think about what we are accomplishing with one activity, it's huge.
I love this.
This is so cool.
This is such a great activity. This is so much fun too, and also so great for language acquisition. Like they are also speaking, they're hearing their thoughts back. They're hearing, if you're teaching a second language, which is what you are doing, correct me if I'm wrong, like that must be so powerful. They have an audience for their work as well. This is so good. This hits so many. You're so right. This is such a great activity. It's very strong.
And I love the empathy piece too, because they have to listen to the story in front of them and then figure out from their comprehension, like what comes next. Love the use of Adobe Spark video too, with the visual component and the voiceover and all these different methods that students are sharing their learning. So absolutely love it.
Yeah, and then the fourth one would be the portfolio.
So sometimes, like right now, when you are trying to, people like students in high school, students that are trying, or when they are done with college and they want to go out and find a job, sometimes they want to find a job, but they don't have a portfolio that they can show. They don't have anything to show their work, to show what they can accomplish. So Wakelet is also a great tool to curate that those designs that they do from elementary school all the way to college. If they are putting the link of their designs here in this Wakelet collection, at the end, when they graduate from college, they will have every single design they have created inside of this Wakelet collection. And this will give them an opportunity to share the link in job interviews, or to share this on social media, LinkedIn, all those things that will help them to find a job.
Or even for parent-teacher conferences, like Wakelet and Adobe Spark are a great tool, to show the parents what their student has been doing throughout the year. Like you can put the Adobe Spark, like videos, picture, presentations, everything inside of Wakelet, and just with a link, you can share all of his or her work to his or her parents just with one link, and you have all of that. Adobe Spark, you have everything there. So like a great idea could be just send all the links before parent-teacher conferences. In that way, you don't need to be with the parents 20 minutes, just going through everything, which we love, but we don't have that time.
If you are a parent from my class and you are seeing this, we love to spend 20 minutes with each of you going through every portfolio. But if you have the opportunity to see all this portfolio at home, will be better for everyone, right?
So parents see it at home, go through everything, go through the presentations, videos, pictures, whatever. And when they go to your classroom and you are ready, you just need to talk about the kind of more important stuff, with those parents, and you don't need to, as we said, be 25 minutes each conference, because even we like it, it's draining,
I love this idea. And then just having that portfolio that students have an authentic audience, they can share this with different opportunities that come up. It's so visual. Absolutely love this use of having the curated Wakelet collection together. I love all these ideas. I can't wait to see, like some more student examples. And, if you're tuning in and you're inspired by this, we'd love for you to share with the hashtag Adobe EDU Creative, how you're using this in your classroom. And I think we can end there, with our reflection. So again, as Tanya mentioned earlier, we go through the creative process of define, create, and reflect. I'll preface this question a bit with, so first it's, how will you use AppSmashing in your classroom as well? Oh, and I want to make sure we have the final example too, if you want to, before we get to the question. Sorry about that.
It's okay. We'll do it fast.
So pretty much in the last examples, we've been using the Wakelet collection as a hub to get all the activities or videos from Adobe Spark. Here in this activity, what we are using is the Wakelet collection is the source of information. So we load this Wakelet collection with information about ancient Rome, about science, about whatever. And we ask our students to create a design, to create a design, a video, a picture, a presentation in Adobe Spark with all the information they've got from here.
So they read through everything, like they see like a map, or like there are like a lot of information about ancient Rome. And once they've done that, they need to create like a Wakelet presentation about what presentation about what they've learned. So about daily life and like everything they learned, throughout the Wakelet collection and throughout our lessons.
So instead of the Wakelet collection to be the hub of all the activities, we're using it to give the information to the students, the information that we have curated before sending to them.
I love this, and I think it could be used so well. Especially I can see this example in social studies classes or history classes. If you want to scroll up one more time, I love how there's the Adobe Spark video presentation, and then maybe scrolling up here, being able to use those visuals as well, different backgrounds about what they're learning, the map component, beautiful. I love it. Even embedding those external videos too. Is that from YouTube and elsewhere that they found those?
Yep.
I like this. Is such a great assessment for learning, like really being able to capture growth as well over time. And then I love that the whole notion of who does the learning. It should be them, not you. Curating and sharing. So they're doing the research and they're teaching each other, and it's just so fantastic. I love this.
Absolutely. And thinking about this too, Mario and Alberto, one reflection question teachers can think of, and I love how you mentioned this earlier. So we did have the reflection question is, how will you use AppSmashing in your classroom? But the one important thing to remember is that it's not just about finding shiny new apps and trying to fit them in your classroom just for the sake of AppSmashing, as you mentioned. And so really thinking about what are the student learning outcomes, for my unique group of students, what are the tools that will work well for this particular subject area, this particular assignment, and then how to bring those together. Any other thoughts on this reflection question as teachers are starting to respond to this in the chat?
Mm-hmm. I think like you said it very well, it's in general digital transformation. It's not about finding an app and then just finding ways of how to use that app with your class. That you have your pedagogy, you have your lessons, you have how you want to teach that class. So knowing the characteristics of you as a teacher and of your students, you need to find apps that empower all of those characteristics and that learning, but it is not the opposite. Like, as we said, we don't want you to go back to your classroom and say, well, I've seen great examples of how to use Spark and Wakelet, I'm gonna use it. No, just think about it before, about how you can use it, about how can that benefit your students. And it is going to benefit them, and you as a teacher just go ahead and use it, but just don't use it because you think it is cool, because
or you have an observation from your principal coming and you say, let's do Adobe Spark and Wakelet, you know, like these tools helps you out to reach your final goal, right? You need to keep that in mind. What's your final goal and how these apps are going to help you out to reach that goal. But like using the app in the classroom shouldn't be the final goal. The final goal should be something standard, your pedagogy, and then these apps are just tools that are going to help you out to reach that goal.
And they're gonna you're gonna be able to do things that you couldn't do without them, you know, and that is fantastic and that is amazing. But it goes after the pedagogy.
Absolutely. You couldn't have been better said. And I think that's something, although, you know, we do talk a lot about ed tech and we share a lot of the tools from Adobe and from other companies like Wakelet, it's really, really thinking strategically of how this aligns with my pedagogy, with the student learning outcomes, first and foremost, before any other pieces. So thank you for sharing that insight. And we're really looking forward to educators sharing some of the ideas. Maybe educators might use some of the ideas you shared today with Wakelet and Spark, but maybe they're inspired with other ideas and they see what's possible and realize, you know, this is ideal for my unique group of students. So thank you, Mario and Alberto, again, for joining us today. I want to make sure for those who are tuning in, if you're not already following eTwinz on social media channels, be sure to. And do you want to share kind of where folks can find you, like what social media channels and handles?
Yeah, it's Twitter, Instagram, it's eTwinz, in both of them.
eTwinz
EDU, yeah, eTwinz EDU, and like yes,
our webpage.
We have a YouTube channel, but it is in Spanish. So if you speak Spanish, just go and check it out, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I just posted that down there, so be sure to check out Mario and Alberto at eTwinz EDU. But thank you so much for joining us today. I know you have been having a great break before getting back to school, going back to the States. So we really appreciate you joining us today on the Adobe Creative Educator Show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you
so much, everyone who has joined this conversation. It's been great.
Perfect. Well, thank you. And we look forward to seeing you next week on the show. Again, we're here live every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. So stay tuned for some more great programming coming towards you for back to school. So have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you next week. And thank you again to Mario and Alberto for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.